Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Student Spin podcast. Today is September the 16th, 2020, and would like to remind everybody that any opinions expressed here are not necessarily those of our sister production, the 6 Mile Post. I am Austin Williams and are joined by my great co-host, Kimberly and Sarah. How are you guys doing this morning?
Doing good.
Doing very well.
Yeah, I'm sorry again for missing the last podcast, guys.
Tell us a little bit about it. Where were you?
So basically, we went to Cancun in this resort. It was absolutely beautiful. We went with my girlfriend, my family. We went on 2 excursions. One was at Isla Mujeres, and the other one was at Holbox Island. Had a great tour guide, and Captain Pedro went snorkeling. It was beautiful. Saw some coral. I caught a big old barracuda. My girlfriend kicked my butt in fishing, though. That was really funny. And basically, I gave her a promise ring when we went to one of the excursions, so that was really fun.
Aww.
Really thankful for that. But it was also an amazing time. I had a lot of fun with my family. Got really sunburned, took a lot of great pictures. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Sounds awesome.
Nice. And you flew. So this is the first time you've flown since the pandemic started, right? So tell us about that.
Tell us about
Oh, actually, it was not that bad. The airports had to keep your mask on and everything, but everybody was actually really cool. I was really worried somebody was going to be really stubborn and not put their mask on like the plane or something, but everything went really well. You have to keep your mask on during the entire flight.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had it below my nose at some point, just on an accident, and this lady kind of got on me, one of the flight attendants. But other than that, as long as you keep your mask on the entire time, everything was
How
good.
do you blow your nose with a mask?
Oh, no. My nose was down below. My mask was down below my nose accidentally. I just on the plane. I was on my phone watching a movie on one of the plane seats. So, but yeah, no, you have to wear your mask the entire time. But honestly, I'm kind of used to the whole mask thing at this point. It's kind of part of everyday life once you go out. So it was fun. I really enjoyed everything about it. But
Good.
excited to be back.
All right. Well, I will start us off with some school news. We have the new Charger Cafe hours starting September 21st. On Floyd campus, it will be open Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., and then again from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. They are closed on Fridays. Cartersville campus, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., and then Fridays they are closed. It is also Constitution Week. They have activities for Constitution Day on September 17th. On each campus. There's a flyer in one of the emails. However, this will be September 17th, which is tomorrow. So whether or not we'll have this podcast out in time, I'm not very sure. But if we do, and you're listening on the day of the Constitution Day, then you are welcome to go and do those activities. You can also pick up a pocket Constitution at any campus library this week. Another big thing is register to vote. If you are not registered to vote, you can go to www.vote.org. The deadline to register is Monday, October 5th of this year. So if you want to cast your vote in this election, then by all means, go register to vote. We have an interview coming up with Clifton Puckett in the near future. They are planning to replace the flush flashes in the restrooms with a QR code, and he's going to tell us some more about that and how that's going to work. And then if you are needing help with tuition and books, there is a new opportunity available. It is a WIOA, Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. In order to qualify, you must be 18 years of age or older, a resident of the 15-county Northwest Georgia service area, or laid off from an industry in one of these counties. So that means even if you don't live in one of the 15 counties, if you worked there and were laid off from an industry in there that qualifies, or an industry there and you are going back to school in a qualifying industry, then you will qualify. Enrolled or planning to enroll in a WIOA approved program, maintain a 2.5 GPA or higher at Georgia Highlands College, registered for full-time status, and you must meet at least one criteria in the areas of adult funding or dislocated worker funding. If you're interested, you can contact Kyle Wheelless, WHEELESS, at 706-368-7804, or you can email him at kwheeles@highlands.edu, or you can contact Megan Connor at 706-368-7768, or email her at mconnor@highlands.edu. The qualifying programs for this are criminal justice, nursing, the final 2 years, dental hygiene, the final 2 years, mathematics, accounting, business administration, the first 2 years, psychology, human services, teacher education, computer science, and physical therapy assistant. So that is a really cool program. If you need help with tuition and books and you're thinking about going back to school, or you know somebody that's thinking about going back to school, by all means, let them know about this program.
All right, I think that's going to move us on to local news.
All right, so a story out of Cartersville, and this is via the Bartow County School System press release. All employees of the Bartow County School System will receive a one-time bonus amidst the coronavirus. The superintendent, Dr. Philip Page, wished to give a thank you gift for, as he said, a job well done. After 5 weeks of class have finished, 20 of the Bartow County schools remain in the green phase, with more than 99% of its students and staff staying healthy. And so that's just really good news to hear. I feel like we're always hearing bad news with the coronavirus, so it's nice to hear something good around that the school has been doing well as far as keeping the students and staff safe and healthy. In Floyd County, the Red Cross has announced that they're going to be doing multiple blood drives throughout the month of October. Red Cross donors will be able to receive a free COVID-19 antibody testing, and they can view the results within 7 to 10 days via a free download app. So if you're interested, then the Red Cross suggests you go to redcrossblood.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS in all caps for more info, and that's via the WRGA News. And I'm actually thinking of doing that. I've never given blood, and I've always wanted to. It's just a good thing to do. And I'm also just curious to see, since you can get the free COVID-19 antibody testing, just to see out of curiosity, because last year I had a really bad, I thought it was just a cold. It'd be interesting to see. I know a lot of people are curious to see if they've had it and just weren't aware of it.
Yeah,
if you're interested in that, it will be for free, and I'm pretty sure you can go to the website and there'll be a schedule, and it's throughout the month of October.
Just as a tip, I have given blood before. Drink a lot of water the day before. A lot of water. You want to be well hydrated, because otherwise you get there, you're not as hydrated. They go through all the stuff to take your blood. They can't get enough, and then they have to throw it away. And you wasted your time. They've wasted time. Yeah, drink a lot of water.
That's a really good tip, because I'm not really best at drinking water. So thank you for that. I'll definitely need that if I decide to do it. And then for the state of Georgia, Governor Kemp essentially opened the doors for those wishing to visit their loved ones in nursing homes. There's a new executive order that sets up a 3-tiered plan. The phases will be based on a criteria of things: testing rates, the community spread in the area, and case numbers. The first phase will only allow family members to visit if there's an end-of-life situation. So if a loved one is about to pass away, they'll allow family members to come visit. This second phase will allow visitors to see family members outside of the nursing home. And then the third phase, if all goes well, will allow for indoor visitation. So that was via the WRGA News and Fox 5 News. And I know that's probably some good news, especially for those who have parents, grandparents who are in the nursing home. Maybe just a comforting thought to know that they'll be able to see them, give them a hug, and just, know that they're okay. And for those people in the nursing homes, just to know that their loved ones are there. And I'm sure there'll be some very happy visitors to those nursing homes very soon.
All right, I guess we'll move on to world news, which starts with me. So our first thing we have here is wildfires continuing throughout the West Coast, mostly throughout California, Idaho, Washington, Oregon. This is a post from the New York Times. So basically, the wildfires reportedly started on September 5th due to a gender reveal incident. That is crazy. Once I read that. The wildfires continue to blaze through California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, with 27 deaths throughout the 3 states, and the air quality continues to remain unhealthy. I don't know if you guys have seen those pictures of the air throughout there. The red skies and the orange, just hazy, nightmare fuelish pictures. It's awful. I couldn't imagine.
I have a friend that works or that lives in Oregon, in Sandy, Oregon, and she works in Portland, Oregon, at a nursing home, actually. And so she has sent me pictures of it, like just pictures she's taken, where it looks like a 1980s photo. The air is so bad. And then she has sent me pictures of the air quality where she is. The first day she was allowed to go back to her home because she did have to evacuate. It was hazardous, and they were telling them absolutely not to go outside. Like once you get home, you just stay there, because it was so bad. They can't predict how it would affect them. So it's been really bad there.
So let's backtrack. I didn't realize it started with a gender reveal party. Like, what are the details with that?
Only thing that I've read about that, because when it first happened, the only thing that I saw and read about it was that there was a gender reveal. So basically, people were trying to reveal the gender of their child, and somehow a fire escalated from that, and it kind of started in California, and it led to what is now happening, the major wildfires in California. I'm not sure if it's linked to what's happening in the rest of the states. I think it's linked to Washington and the California fires, but I'm not sure about Idaho and Montana and all that. But
the way the gender reveal party started it is because they had this, it's almost like a fireworks, but it's color explosion.
Right.
So it was so dry that when it exploded, it started the fire and
okay.
led to what we have
I
now.
didn't get that detail. Thank you, Kimberly.
Interesting.
But other than that, there's been over 5 million acres of burnt forest throughout the West Coast with no clear end in sight, and conditions continue to become worse, sadly. So hopefully, I read a report from the Weather Channel that winds are lessening over in that area. So hopefully everything's going to calm down. Hopefully they can catch up on all those fires. All right, so I got some good TikTok news. I know I usually kind of keep up with this because it's always something I'm pretty into, but finally caught up with some good news. So Oracle, an American computer software company, has struck a deal with ByteDance, the owner company of TikTok. Oracle was in the competition with companies such as Microsoft, Walmart, but Oracle was a company that came up on top. There are no numbers set in stone. Nothing is set in stone, but Oracle plans to become the quote-unquote trusted technological provider. There are no press release numbers, but news has shown that TikTok will most likely stay in the U.S. thanks to the winning bid and deal made between Oracle and ByteDance. So thankfully, I think with a deal coming up soon, the Trump administration will keep TikTok in the U.S., thankfully. I think it was like 2 days before like the ending agreement between the end of like when they had to make a deal. So I'm glad this actually came up. And I never even heard of Oracle, and they beat out Microsoft and Walmart. It's actually really, really surprising. So thankfully, hopefully everything.
Oracle's been around for a while. They're big. They typically, from what I've seen, do more business software. So it's not something you would see like human resources will use Oracle. They're pretty big there, the Oracle program. So yeah, but I'm super excited that TikTok is here to stay because I am a big TikTok fan.
Yeah, with a new company owning them, hopefully the format won't change too much because I know when new companies take over things, they kind of like to change it up. But hopefully,
if they're smart,
hopefully when they're smart, they'll stay the same.
If they're smart, they're going to leave it alone.
Yeah, and I heard once all is said and done, TikTok's gonna bring over about 1,500 jobs over here into the U.S. So hopefully that'll be good for the economic side of it. So TikTok will be able to put more stocks into the U.S. So it'll be good for the government, I think, and good for the good mental stability of the TikTok community in the U.S. too. So I'm happy about that. So it's a bit of good news. As come from the New York Times, there was a settlement between Breonna Taylor's family for $12 million and to set in some institute reforms to prevent future deaths by officers in the city of Louisville. Breonna Taylor was shot and killed by police on March 26 after a botched police raid, and future reforms have been placed to be put in place to reduce preventable deaths. So it's a good step in the right direction, I think, and happily the family can, I know it sucks, the death over anybody is horrible, but hopefully this is a one step in the right direction for one of the people that didn't deserve to get to die. I just read up on the story. I didn't know too much about it, about how she died, but basically it was a raid that wasn't meant for their house, and basically the cops knocked on the door and they answered the door because they thought it was a burglar, and the guy was kind of shooting to where the cops were at, and the cops kind of just shot over 20 rounds and they hit all of them. But thankfully, one of the names that has been in protesters, one of the main names against police brutality, one of those names are finally getting some justice. So thankfully, we're seeing some positive movements.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it really is a great thing that they had this settlement, because it really was something that could have, one, been avoided had they double checked their sources and their paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
And two, I mean, you're going to a citizen's home that I mean, there should have been some kind of warning that it was the police, and the fact that did not happen is how they got the settlement.
Yeah.
So it's just something that's really, really tragic, and it needs to stop.
Yeah, but I think there's been a lot more upside coming. Most of the major violent protests have come down. I'm not sure what's going, because I know in Portland, Oregon, city's been shut down, stuff like that. I haven't heard too much about that, but I'm
100 days of riots, over 100 days at this point.
Yeah. I know sports are back on, NFL and everything like that, and they're able to protest. They're able to have, and the NBA players can have like Black Lives Matter or like words on the back of their jerseys, and know, and they're doing that in the back of people's helmets in the NFL. So I think it's a good way of, like, they're protesting in their own way. Like, they are finally getting to say what they can say, and I think it's a really good step forward. I remember I watched the very first NFL game this season, and it was against the Chiefs and the Texans, and basically they were doing a line of solidarity, and they were all standing in a line together. They weren't kneeling against the flag or anything, but they still got boos because they allowed fans in the stadium. And it wasn't, again, there was no like Black Lives Matter like sign up in the air or anything. It was literally just a line, and it's made me really sad because it wasn't against. There was no like.
It wasn't against anything. It was them standing together, together, to say that we are.
Really, really upset me because it was no move of power or anything. It was just solidarity. It's just people coming together, and it's hard for me to understand how, through COVID and through all the things we're going through right now, how you can still find a way to bring like hate into it. So it's just hopefully with all this stuff moving forward, we can become a better world, a better country, and just I think we're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
And on this note, let's bring in some good news. What do you got for us, Kimberly?
Okay, so speaking of TikTok, if you have the app, there is a positivity movement going on, and it is fabulous. It's involving people like content creators like JT Laybourne, JT's wife, Scott D. Henry, Holly Henry, who is Scott D. Henry's wife, Ed Dudes, wifey, Dan Henry, and Kelly Henry. And there's also Fort Collins' dad is another one, but they have I think it's their Venmo stuff is up, and they are taking donations, even if it's just $1, and then they will go and use that as in a positive manner. They will do what they call love slaps, where they just go to somebody's TikTok account and just slam the comments with just love and positivity if there's somebody's down or something like that, because there's some of that posted on there. I know I have seen several abusive relationships that people have put these videos out there seeking help, and they have gone in and helped them get out. Just a lot of different things, trying to uplift everybody, and it's just a great movement. So these are some of the people to go follow if you have the TikTok app. They are absolutely fabulous.
Sounds good. And for mine, I have a good old puppy story. So a lucky dog was adopted by an oil rig worker who found him swimming 135 miles from the Thai coast. The pup was first spotted by offshore worker. So he was able to reel in the dog with a rope and capture the dog away from the choppy ocean, and later adopted the dog as his own. And it is believed that the dog fell off a different boat and swam to the oil rig. But the fact that he was 135 miles off the coast and was able to be saved is awesome. And the guy who found the dog in the first place, he had to send it back to the shore, and 10 days later he then adopted it. So that's an awesome story. I love a good dog story, and made me happy. All right, so for our music and movies, come on, Sarah, what do you got for us?
Well, for my movie pick, a lot of you know Mulan released to streaming. I watched it a couple weeks ago, and I will say, if you are a fan of the animated movie, like I am and was as a child, they are very different, and you have to separate in your mind that they are not the same film. But Visually, Mulan is such a stunning film. The costumes are just superb. The action in it is just, it's a really beautiful film. So if you get a chance to watch that and you have Disney Plus, I believe it's streaming now, but I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember when the actual release date was for that. As far as TV, so my boyfriend and I just watched the first episode of Lost, and we're planning to watch all seasons. I believe there's 7, so we have a long way ahead of us. And I'm sure lots of you are familiar with it. It's an old show. I watched it when it first aired, first couple of seasons. Such an iconic show, and I'm just really excited to watch that. And there's so many twists and turns. And then for my song pick, it's a song called Kings and Queens by Matt Kearney, I think is how you pronounce his name, Kearny. And I think he's like a pop singer. He may do a few like Christian things, but mostly in the pop world. And Kings and Queens, it's just to me a really sweet song, kind of a romantic song about this guy saying, if, I can have all of these things, we could have, watches and planes and all of this jewelry, but, with you by my side will be Kings and Queens. And I just think it's a really sweet song. And so if you have the time, check it out. And what about you, Kimberly?
Okay, so my music pick this week is an artist I discovered again on TikTok. It's LP. They put out their first album, or she did, in 2017. Strange is one of my favorite songs that came on that 2017 album. Her latest single is The One That You Love. She's just got a great sound. I mean, she sounds a lot like Stevie Nicks to me. Like, she's just got that great voice. She's amazing. And then for a show, Netflix has a new series called Away. It's got Hilary Swank. Y'all may not know who that is, but she was big in the 90s. She's a fantastic actress. It's just an amazing show. It's about some NASA astronauts that are going on the first mission to Mars and how they deal with their family and how the mission goes. I'll tell you this, in the first episode, I cried 3 different times. It's that good. It's really good. And as far as a movie, Peanut Butter Falcon. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. I know it's on several different streaming apps right now. Go watch it. It is a fantastic movie.
I actually heard about Peanut Butter Falcon when it first came out, and it looked awesome. I've been wanting to watch it for so long.
It's phenomenal. You should watch it. It really is just a really great film.
Sadly, I do not have a music choice this week since I listen to the same music every single day, but I will evolve my listening soon. I will try my best to find something new for you guys next time. But for my show, me and my girlfriend have currently been binge watching Halloween Wars. Is a show where it is a competition against 6 teams that make amazing artwork out of pumpkin, sugar, and cake, and they make scary cake work, and it's awesome. And they have amazing guest judges, a lot of guys from Stranger Things, and a lot of different shows. So it's awesome. I really, really, really like it. But one thing I am very excited for: college football is back on, and my team was. They suspended their season because of the COVID-19, but this morning, I woke up to the great news that their season's back on. My good old Ohio State guys, so I'm going to be watching that on October the 23rd and 24th, so I'm very, very excited about that. Other than that, that's it for me.
I think this was a great episode, and I'm glad I got to hang out with you guys and talk world news and local news and school stuff and all kinds of good stuff. So
yeah, no, this episode was really good. I'm glad to be back, and I guess we'll see you guys. Well, let's figure out
2 weeks.
Yep, 2 weeks. See you guys in 2 weeks.
Bye.
All right, bye guys.